Hello, so please excuse my appearance and the mess everywhere. It's very late. Well, it's not that late, let me check. It's 8:30. So I'm filming just in case this is it. It might not be, but I went round to my mum's house this afternoon. Oh, by the way, if you can hear the noise, it's because I'm running a bath. Went round to my mum's house this afternoon and started getting tightenings across my belly, and then as kind of the time wore on and she was dropping me back home, it started turning into a little bit more of a pain, or like a pressure, I suppose I should say, hypnobirthing, at the top of my legs and kind of across my hips. And it's now, that was about 5 o'clock, maybe a bit before 5 o'clock, and it's now 8:30, and I'm still getting the occasional kind of crampy feeling. So I've had a hot drink, had some dinner, had some pasta, watched some telly, sat on my ball for a bit, and I've been out. We went out for a walk when I got home, had some dinner, and then I went out for another walk. So we've been out for 2 short walks, you know, stoppy-starty, kind of really slow, taking it slow. And like I said, I'm just about to have a bath. I'm gonna have some oils, read my book for a little bit and stuff. I'm 36 plus 5, 37 on Sunday. And if you watched my previous video, you'd know I have an appointment tomorrow morning with the midwife. That was to like go over my birth plan and stuff. So yeah, just in case this is it, I thought I'd film and kind of keep you guys updated. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna have a bath, gonna relax, might have a hot water bottle and stuff afterwards and see how we get on. Yeah, I'll keep you updated. Good morning. Oh goodness me, haven't filmed a video looking like this yet. So I've got my midwife appointment today. I literally just woke up like 10 minutes ago, just had some cereal. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of makeup on, not loads. And of course not lipsticks, no one wears lipstick anymore because we all wear masks, especially in hospital. So yeah, got my appointment with my midwife. I'm 36 plus 6 today, 37 weeks tomorrow. Last night, yesterday, kind of late afternoon, about 5ish, started getting kind of tightenings, cramps. So obviously I'll let her know that. And then I was awake in the night. I woke up at about 5:30 in the morning, and I had cramps. I've been kind of having period-y kind of style cramps on and off. Those ones are a bit more kind of, I don't know how to describe it. Like I don't know, like tightenings, kind of pains across the top of my belly and the bottom of my belly. I had one I wrote down the times just in case. I had one at 5:36 and one at 6:10. So yeah, and then ever since I've woke up this morning again, I did go back to sleep about 6:30. And then excuse me, since I've woken up, I've still kind of had that low, draggy kind of cramp, like general crampy feeling. So I will kind of talk to her about that. Obviously 37 weeks tomorrow. I've said previously that my family do usually go overdue, but maybe this is the beginning of something. Who knows? Maybe it's not. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Maybe it's not. I know Braxton Hicks, obviously, like I've had maybe like once or twice, but I thought that the point of Braxton Hicks was that they were like tightenings. Just wriggling, just poking me. I thought the point of Braxton Hicks was that they were painless tightenings. Please do correct me if I'm not right about that. I thought Braxton Hicks was supposed to not be painful. And what I'm getting is quite painful. So like I said, I'm going to talk to my midwife about it. Excuse me. But yeah. Maybe this is it. Always have a big drink of water before you go to your midwifery appointment, because you never know when they're going to ask you to wee and take a wee sample. And don't drink anything sugary because they'll think you've got gestational diabetes, and you don't want anyone thinking that. If you don't have it, obviously. So yeah, we shall see what the midwife says. Obviously, please, if you are watching this, and obviously I have absolutely no idea what I'm waiting for. I've googled, you know, like the first signs of labour, and it just kind of says, oh, contractions, but I'm like, yeah, but what does that actually mean? Like, what's actually going to happen to me? Some women feel it as a period cramp, some women feel it in their hips and their back. Yeah, okay, well, that's great. Everyone feels it differently, but I don't know what that means for me, kind of thing. Whether this is all just fake and I'll see her in 5 weeks' time, or whether this is it and I'll see her by the end of the week. I don't know. But yeah, like I said, I will ask my midwife. I'll just let her know what's happening, and maybe she can give me a bit of information. I forgot to say the spookiest thing as well. My mum messaged me this morning. I was with her yesterday when I started getting the cramps. She messaged me this morning. She said, oh, how are you? I was like, yeah, fine. Kind of explained what was happening, and she said,
something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
Oh, that's my Google. My mum was like, oh yeah, just because I had a dream that you gave birth at 5:30 in the morning, and I was up at 5:30. I had a cramp at 5:36, and I was texting her back like, I was like, no, I didn't give birth, but I was up. She was like, that's spooky. Just because I was joking with her yesterday, she was saying about, oh, when does she need to start having her phone on loud? Like sleeping with her phone on loud rather than on mute. And I said, well, you never know, maybe I'll have a precipitate labour, that's the word, isn't it? Where you labour really, really quickly. You can go from like nothing to having a baby in like a couple of hours. Yeah. Oh, I just feel so draggy, so kind of sensitive, and like kind of all I can think of is period pain, and I haven't had period pain in a long time. When I was on the coil, I didn't have periods at all. Very lucky. So I haven't had proper period pain for a long time. But that's all I can kind of relate it to. But yeah, please, if you have ever had a baby, please let me know what I'm kind of looking out for. And I know obviously as well the other thing is things like the show and things like obviously waters breaking, but I also know that some people's waters don't break until you transition, which is like when you go from labour to like actively pushing baby. Some people's waters don't break at all. Baby's born in a sack. And some people's waters break. I mean, that would be the best sign, wouldn't it? If your waters broke, you knew within, I think is it 24 hours you need to have your baby in case you get infection, or 48 maybe. That would be the best sign if it's like, yeah, this is it, but this kind of, oh, draggy, crampy, not sure, a little bit of pain up here, a little bit of pain down here. I have absolutely no idea. I mean, it could just literally be hip pain. I've had that the whole time. yeah, that's kind of that along the bottom, kind of cramping. The other thing, obviously, the midwife will tell me is if she's engaged, which means I'm going to be trying to be really aware of my language as well, because a lot of the time I know that I and other people in pregnancy use language that doesn't really mean anything unless you give it context. Like, I've had to ask my mum. My mum, if you didn't know, my mum is a midwife, or she's a qualified midwife. She doesn't practice anymore. But I have to ask her the definition of basically everything. So I'm waiting to see if baby is engaged, which means if the head is in the pelvis, which means kind of good to go. Last time I went, so 35 plus 1, she was free, which means her head was free out the pelvis. Once they start going down into the pelvis, apparently my mum says it's measured in fifths. So they say, like, I can't remember which way around it is. Like 4/5 means that 1/5 of the head is in the pelvis, 4/5 is out. I think that's what she said. My mum said. Obviously, I'll get the midwife to explain. So I'll see if she's engaged. But again, my mum said that her first baby was free right up until he was ready to be born. So again, it's different for everyone, which is it's great because it means that nothing's wrong, but it also means like you got kind of nothing to go on. I feel really crampy. Okay, right, so I'm gonna get dressed and I will let you know how it goes. Hello, so it is now, so the clip you'll have just watched was Saturday morning, before my midwife appointment. It's now Sunday morning. Actually, it's now Sunday. It's 20 to 2, it's Sunday afternoon. So I didn't film anything else yesterday, and I'm gonna go a little bit into why. So obviously I mentioned before, I'm just trying to think what clips I've already filmed. So I had the bit on Friday where I was getting a few aches and pains, and I was having a bath. And then, I was speaking about my appointment, and so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let you know how that went and how yesterday went. It was a long day, I'll tell you that now. And then I'll kind of give you a quick update on how I'm feeling at the moment. So, sorry again about my appearance. No makeup, I'm tired. I'm very, very tired. And I've been kind of sleeping on and off all day. I haven't been sleeping in the night, so I've been trying to catch up on sleep in the day and stuff. So, went to my midwife appointment, and I've got my notes. I don't know if any other trust has like this little folder. It's so cute. I got my details on, but yeah, it's kind of just got loads of information on that you kind of put all of your notes in. So I'll just get that out now. Little sneak preview. It involved these yesterday, so if you know, obviously I'll go through it in a sec, but if you know, then you probably know. So, okay. So I went to my appointment, and the point of my appointment was to talk through my birth plan. Kind of. It wasn't like a birth plan like, what pain relief do you want? Like filling in a form, like we've got a form that we will fill in and stuff. But it was more just like, what are the options for me? Like my risk assessment, basically. What are the options for me with the risks for me, kind of thing. So basically all the options are open to me. So there's 3 options, okay, in Eastbourne. Home, the EMU, which is the Eastbourne Maternity Unit, which is a midwife-led unit. There are no obstetricians, there are no doctors, there's no consultants, there's no pain relief stronger than pethidine. I think that's the strongest they offer. So obviously you have things like TENS machine, which I have. Things like obviously gas and air. I've had that. have had that when I was little, when I cut my head open. Gas and air. Water. Obviously, there's a pool. And then the things like hypnobirthing, aromatherapy go crazy. But there is, and pethidine, which is, I think it's a morphine-based drug. I think it's injected into your leg or into your bum and can make you feel, I think it's make you feel a bit sick, make you feel a bit tired. Can make baby, it crosses the uterus, so it can make baby feel a bit tired. But that's the strongest pain relief they have. They don't have epidural. They don't do cesareans. They don't even do, I don't think they even do forceps or ventouse, like assisted deliveries. Nothing like that at all. It's completely risk-free pregnancy, risk-free birth. It's going to be simple. You go in, you have your baby, you leave, kind of thing. So that's what EMU is. And the other option is to go to the hospital at Hastings, which is called the Conquest, which is a proper consultant, let's just say with that, a consultant-led unit, doctors, cesareans, inductions, forceps, ventouse, epidurals, everything. You can have everything there. So all the options are open to me. I can choose to give birth at home, I can choose to give birth at the EMU, I can choose to give birth at Conquest. It's up to me because my pregnancy was so risk-free. I'm young, blah, 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 blah. So the first bit of the appointment was going through that. So she basically gave me this form, or like this information sheet. Sorry, it's a bit crumpled. But it's basically like choosing where to give birth for you and your baby. You can choose the midwife-led unit, consultant-led unit, or a home birth. And there's just kind of a bit of information about like the statistics, because obviously like and what pain relief you can have where, which is kind of what I've just gone over. There's a little bit on what could happen, that they would transfer you to the hospital. So you can start at EMU and then just a couple of things, it doesn't progress as quickly as they would like. I think she said if you're pushing for more than 2 hours, obviously if you want more pain relief, they have to transfer you. If your placenta doesn't deliver properly, etc, etc, etc. So there's lots of reasons why they might have to transfer you. And there's just a bit of information on that, because Hastings it's not far. I think she said that they have an 8-minute response for the ambulance, so it takes 8 minutes for the ambulance to get to you. And then, I don't know, it would take a car like 40 minutes. I don't know if an ambulance maybe 20, 25, I don't know. And then she did my risk assessment for what is all this? Sorry, I've got so many bits of paper. So this was my risk assessment for like what are my options. So basically like what my BMI was, is there any reason why, like am I over 40, have I got high BMI, am I on drugs, have I had miscarriages before, yada yada. We talked about all those options that I kind of just went through and stuff. So, and then she's also done a risk assessment for home birth. So if that's what I choose, she said I didn't obviously have to choose till I was in labour whether I wanted to come in or not. So yeah, and then just another information pack, which is the COVID pack for home birth. So basically they can't come if anyone has symptoms or temperature, that kind of thing. So yeah, that was how the appointment started, talking through all that bits and bobs. Then she did like the kind of standard blood pressure, pulse, urine, and then, so let me go through that then, let me find it. So 36 plus 6. Bump was measuring 36 centimetres and I said it's a centimetre for a week, so I'm bang on with that. Baby is, I think it's she wrote cephalic. I think the word cephalic, it means head down, so not breech, which means bottom down, or not transverse, which means sideways. Last time baby was free from my pelvis, so wasn't kind of dropped down into the pelvis. She's now written at brim, which I think means like just at the edge. So she's not quite in yet, but she's right at the edge. My blood pressure was fine. My pulse was quite high, not overly high. It was 101. Just a little bit high. Usually it's like 88, 89, 86. So it's usually kind of there, but it was 101. Urine was fine. Movement was fine. And then she palpated, which means checked where baby was to check that she was at brim. So checked where the bum was, where the legs were, blah, blah, blah. And then she listened to baby's heartbeat. Now, I don't know, obviously I've never been pregnant before, and I've never seen another kind of pregnancy so, you know, in depth, if that makes sense. My baby wriggles a lot. she's a mover. And when she palpated me, she was wriggling. She was wriggling around, she was kicking, she was squirming around. So, in fact, she's moving right now. Honestly, she doesn't stop. So when she put I can't remember what they're called, the little thing to measure the heartbeat. I can't remember what they're called. They put a little thing just on your tummy and measure her heartbeat. And it was a bit quick. Now, she wrote down 160. And she wrote down that there was lots of fetal movement and that might be why it was so high. She's written active plus. Now 160 is the top end of where it should be. I believe I've got that right. It's the top end of where it should be. I think it should be between, I don't know. If I research it, I'll put the numbers. It should be between some numbers. I think 160, she wanted it to dip below 160, but 160 was fine. She was a little bit like, not great. Baby's moving a lot. I've just palpated her. That might have got her going, might have got her heart rate up. Have a drink of water, walk around, sway your hips, kind of get her a bit more settled. So she left me for 10 minutes. Did that, walked around, you know, it's kind of a bit dim. Walked around for a little bit, just around the little room I was in. She came back, she measured it again, and it was not down. In fact, she's written 165, so it's actually gone up. When I saw it, because I could see it when she was standing up, I could see the number, and it reached as high as like 175. It was kind of floating around 170. Between 165 175, it was kind of going up and down. And again, she was like, yeah, it's quite high. The thing is, it's not high, it's not really bad, but it was higher than she would have liked to see. So she said, she says, I'll give it another 5 minutes, walk around, settle her down. If it doesn't go down below 160, like consistently below 160, you will need a CTG. I don't actually know what CTG stands for. I'm not sure. But basically constant monitoring of the heart rate to make sure that everything's okay. Because if it gets quick, it can mean that they're in distress or, there's an infection or something's gone wrong. So she went away again. She came back. Same story. It was around 170. So she said to me, you need to go to get a CTG. Now, like I've already said, I have all my appointments at EMU. They're complicated free. They don't do anything like that. So I had to go to Hastings, the Conquest, the hospital, the consultant-led hospital. She says, she's written Murray Ward called, which is the ward at Hastings, about fetal tachycardia, which I think just means speedy heart rate. We'll see for CTG. So, and then she made an appointment with me to see her in 2 weeks. So that would be, I think it was 38 plus 5. I think I'm seeing her 38 plus 5 or something like that. So obviously at this point I'm thinking, right, so my options are basically, she'd called ahead, they were expecting me at Hastings. and I was gonna go over to Hastings to get the CTG. Now I came home. My mum picked me up and my stepmom picked me up. I don't know if I've mentioned in videos, or if you didn't already know, both of them are in midwifery. They've been in midwifery before. My mum still is. She's a lecturer in midwifery. My stepmom is a qualified midwife. She's now a maternity nurse. So they both know, they're both on it with everything to do with midwifery, everything to do with babies. They know their shit. So obviously I kind of debriefed them, and they said it's not something to worry about. It's not high. She's moving a lot. It's not something to, you know, sit and stress about. And I spoke to Fraser, and he said the same thing. He said, well, can't you just ring them and say to go in tomorrow and go and have this, whatever it's called, I can't remember what it's called, thing put on you again and check our heartbeat again. But because of how I'm feeling, obviously in my other clips I've said I'm getting kind of cramps. You know, I'm feeling crampy, I'm feeling heavy, I'm feeling like this could be the start of something, even if my latent phase lasts another couple of weeks, who knows. And I knew that if I didn't go, then I would be worrying, because I would think, you know, I should have gone and just at least got it checked out, so for peace of mind kind of thing. So we came home, I had some lunch. By that time I'd been in my appointment for an hour and a half. I was tired, I was hungry, so I had some lunch and I kind of talked it through with everyone, and I had a shower and I got changed, and I thought, you know what, let's just go and let's just do it for my peace of mind. Let's just go and get the CTG, and then it's done, and then I'll know everything's fine. Because otherwise I'd have been lying in bed that night and I'd have been thinking, you know, something might be wrong. You know, it's just better for peace of mind to just go. So, like I said, all of us went. So mum, my stepmom, Becky, Fraser, obviously me. And we drove to Hastings. I don't even know how long it took. 40 minutes, I don't even know. I wasn't really in the zone. Got to Hastings. Obviously, because of COVID, I had to go in on my own, which is just adds another layer to this whole, you know, experience. Is just that you have to do everything on your own. I was in that appointment on my own. I was told all this on my own, and I had to go to Hastings on my own, kind of thing. It's just another kind of layer to that. You just want someone to be with you, and you know. So went into Hastings, found the ward eventually. It was a bit of a pain to get to. Kind of said, oh, I've been transferred from Eastbourne. They've recommended that I come for a CTG. Yeah, blah, blah, blah. Okay, go and have a seat in the waiting room. 45 minutes I waited. Clearly I wasn't an emergency. I get that. But obviously I had Mum and Becky and Fraser waiting, and I was on my own, and it just felt a bit like, you know, when you... Yeah, it just felt a bit shit. Like, I asked a couple of times, I said, how long is this going to take? Like, I was starting to think, like, I shouldn't have come. This is a waste of my time. Everything's, of course, going to be fine. Like, such a waste of my time. You know, we've driven all the way out here. I've already waited, I think I waited an hour in the end just for them to come and see me. So, it was a bit of a pain. Then eventually someone came, a student and a midwife came, grabbed me. They checked the Sonicade, that's the word, Sonicade that does the heart rate. Checked me with the Sonicade. Okay, they checked the heart rate on the Sonicade for 60 seconds and it was 147, which was completely, utterly normal. And they kind of looked at each other and they went, yeah, this is normal. But anyway, so they strapped me in. Oh, sorry, they strapped me in to something called a Dawes Redman. So basically you have one band, so these are the bands, they gave them to me as a nice little souvenir. I think it's because they're single use because of COVID, and they said if you have another one, just you can use the same ones. So they strap one around the top of your tummy and one around the bottom of your tummy. The one at the bottom, they put a little bit of that gel stuff that they use for the Sonicade and for like ultrasounds. They put a little bit of the gel on, and that one was measuring baby's heart rate. And then the one at the top, they put another little kind of disc on, and that was measuring, she said contractions, but I think she more meant like not like contractions as in like labour contraction, more just like if there's tightening or if she moves, like the kind of movement. So I was strapped into that. They said it takes as long as it takes. Sometimes it's going to be at least 10 minutes until this machine's kind of got all the information that it needs and wants. I think in the end it took about 35 minutes for it to do it. So they strapped me in and they left. She said she left me some water. She said have a drink, to kind of chill. And they would come back kind of as and when, just every few minutes to, you know, pop in and see how it went. She's written baby active plus. Baby was crazy active. Like, again, like I've already said, I don't know if that's just my baby. I don't know if every baby is like that. They literally said to me, is this normal? Like, is this more active than normal? And I was like, no, not really. Not only was she moving around, but halfway through she also got the hiccups. So that was also great. But what I'll do is I'll show you I got the CTG report. So I will show you that now. As best I can, because obviously it's quite small. So this is her, oh, I've just realised it's going to be backwards. Okay, hold on. Okay, the quality might have changed a little bit just because usually it's easier for me to just film on my front camera, even though it's obviously worse quality. And now I've just switched to my back camera so that it's not backwards. So, okay, I'll try and show you as best I can, and if not, if it's really, really awful, I'll just put some pictures in. So this is what it looks like. I don't think this has got any information on, not really. It's just got my name on. This is what it looked like. So as you can see, kind of fairly consistent in terms of like it's basically between 140 and 180. So it did go up and down a lot between those numbers, as you can see, obviously, like where it's down and where it's up. Now I really hope it's focused. Now the little black triangles along the top, these ones here, are movement. So this here, you can see there's like a little bell. This is like a little bell, which means that it set the alarm off, the heart rate set the alarm off. And then they came and kind of turned it off. But those little black kind of triangles, either I was pressing a little button whenever she moved, and it was also itself picking up movement. So you can see really clearly that when she moved here, it went high. When she moved here, it went high. When she moved here, it had spikes. Now this is just typical, yeah. All of that at the top, all of those black triangles, they're not even triangles because they overlap so much. It's like a solid black line. That's when she got hiccups and when she was still really wriggling. So all of that is just because she was wriggling and hiccuping. And again, even here it kind of just mooches up and down, back down again where it's kind of calmed down a bit, back up again when it goes crazy. So yeah, so basically it concluded that she obviously her heart rate goes up when she is moving. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the camera back around again so I know that everything's in focus. Bits of information. Fetal movements per hour, 84.7. Means she moves more than... That's just a lot. It's a lot. Her basal heart rate is, so beats per minute, is 162. So it's higher than 160, just like the original midwife said, but not crazy. And basically they said, oh, that's fine. What we'll do is we'll get a doctor to have a quick look at it, and we'll get the matron to have a look at it and see if it needs a doctor to review. She said no. And they were like, it's fine, you're free to go. So the end of the story was kind of like, it was fine. It wasn't all for nothing, you know what I mean? It was fine. Took forever. I was bloody knackered, but it's one of those things, and like I said, if I hadn't have done it, then I would probably still be worrying now about it. I was still getting that kind of cramping, that kind of feeling. And last night I woke up, I think it was around 4, again, cramping. The thing is, like, obviously I've already said this, but I don't know what a contraction feels like. I don't think, if I've had any actual contractions, there's been one in the night, this last night, where it was like fully, and I was actually like, oh, this is actually quite painful, where it kind of like started, build up, kind of everything tightened, and then it kind of flowed away. Whereas at the moment it's more just a bit like, oh, it's a bit of a dull ache, and oh, it's just a bit of a pain here, but it's not like that kind of wave that I know contractions are described as, kind of like a wave. So that's that was yesterday. Today's today. Obviously I was up in the night, so I've had a sleep since, and I will keep an eye on how this is progressing. It might be the start of something, it might not, who knows? No one knows with labour, do they? And some people's latent phases last a week, 10 days. I don't even know if I've had a contraction at all. I don't know if it's just achy, her moving down. I don't know if it's just everything kind of getting going, because obviously it's my first baby. So I hope you all have had a good weekend, and that you're doing well, and I will let you know how things go. If you always want updates, I'm sure if any of you actually, if any of you want updates, then follow me on Instagram. I always leave my account link below, and I've had a couple of people follow me on Instagram and reach out, and that's been really lovely. So and I kind of always, I don't post a lot, it's not great, but I don't post a lot, but I post on my stories quite a bit. So follow me on Instagram, I'll follow you back, have a chat, love that. And have a good week, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.